Welcome you to this edition of MBC Exclusive with me, Alina Feblamba. Joining me today is the Executive Director of the Center for Human Rights, Education, Advice and Assistance, Victor Mhango. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Anafe.
All right, so first of all, can you tell us, we've seen recent reports indicating that cases of torture against those who are against the law are on the rise. As Korea, what's your reaction on this?
We are also disappointed, and we have seen those reports. There are actually different types of cases that we have seen, ranging from assaulting the older women, children, and the suspected thieves. Yeah, I think the path that we are taking as Malawians is actually that's worrying us, because this is very worrisome. In the country like Malawi, we have rule of law. That's why we have offices like Malawis Service, the judiciary, and also we have the court. The prisons, that's the purpose of those offices, to make sure that the rule of law is there. But I think the way we are doing it is like we don't have those offices, or maybe we are not happy to have those offices, and we believe that maybe on our own we can start disciplining, punishing people.
So what is your assessment if we were to look at human rights violation?
There are a number of human rights violations. Actually, first of all, we have seen children being assaulted. In the first place, as Malawians, we have the spirit of Ubuntu, and then we need to make sure that I think all the children should be supported. In other words, I'm saying that I think if I have a child, that child is raised by the community, not only me. So if you see people in the community gathering and punishing that child, then it only shows that I think we don't have that spirit of Ubuntu. I don't know where we are going to, and it's actually worrying, because all this is happening when we have the rule of law in our country.
We've seen that, speaking of children, we've seen that such cases of children being in conflict with the law are on the rise. What do you think is causing this?
Yeah, I think it could be two ways. Sometimes it's also lack of parental care, issues of poverty. We have parents, some men who are just having children, but they're not supporting them. As a result, maybe a woman is having that burden of taking care of all the children. So sometimes if she fails, you find that maybe children are just going around looking for food, and you meet situations like what happened in Mulanje. After assaulting that child, after now investigating, we noted that even the mother is very poor. So it was like, I need to get something for my survival. So you find that most of the children, if their community comes, there could be some issues surrounding them. That's why we have the Department of Social Welfare, which is responsible for making sure that they need to take the children's rights. They need to protect them. So what they do is that they'll make sure that whenever a child is arrested, they'll actually follow what has happened. So you find that in the end, they'll find that, no, I think this was the issue. This is what made the child to be stealing. But as a community, we don't see those things. We just go straight that, no, he was stealing, let's punish him.
All right, Mr. Mhango, you've mentioned of the Department of Social Welfare. Much as the department is there, what do you think needs to be done? Because if you had to look at these cases of juvenile offenses, almost each and every week, cases are being recorded. Do you think there is need to change some of our systems so that maybe children are more accommodated?
No, we have the Department of Social Welfare. The only problem with that department is that it's not adequately funded. You report cases to them, you find that they don't even have transport. But we have the department, yes. We have the officers who are willing to assist, but we find that most of the time they don't have manpower, they don't have resources. So that's the problem that we are having as a country. Whenever we are allocating funds to departments, most of the times we see that, no, this is not relevant. We can leave this department. So these are the issues that are making some department to be redundant. No, you find that I think maybe they are not even interested to do anything, not because of their own making, but because they don't have resources. If they had resources, definitely they would have been working. So that's the issue that I think we are having with the Department of Social Welfare. We have tried to lobby. In the first place, in Malawi, we were in court ourselves as CREA. We challenged the issue of detaining children in prisons and police stations. Not from nowhere, but we have a law that is governing the welfare of children, the Child Act. That one actually indicates that no child should be found in prisons, but they should be sent to safety homes if they are victims, or they can be sent to Reformatory Centres. But we find that how many Reformatory Centres do we have? Maybe 2. How many safety homes do we have? We have 7, but most of these are just private owned. As government, we don't have. And again, when you go I was at Mpemba yesterday, Mpemba Reformatory Centre, at night, the place had no lights. It means that they don't have funding just to buy electricity. So issues like this, they frustrate the officers.
Yeah. Now, speaking of these reformatory centers, do you think these centers are doing enough, or they are still serving as another way of punishing these children? And this should also reflect on our prisons. Do you think our prisons are serving their purposes as reformatory centers, or they're just there as a tool of punishment?
Yeah, I think for reformatory centers, they are trying. The only problem, again, is resources. It's not enough, but I think they are trying. And they have got capacity to keep so many children, but because of the resources, they don't actually take so many children. For the prisons, our prisons were meant to punish people. That's why they are called prison. I think the purpose was for them to punish people, the offenders. But I think over the years, you find that it's not actually serving the purpose. Because if you send someone to prison to be punished, what will happen after his release? Then I think he's going back home, maybe reformed or not reformed. But now we are very happy that I think the government, they want to introduce a new prison act, which is actually going towards the rehabilitation of offenders. That's the thing that we are supporting the government, because if we take someone who was arrested and then he was stealing, we take him to prison and give him reformatory take him to reformatory processes. Like, for example, the carpenter and drugs. When he comes back from the prison, he will take that path. But if we are not doing that, you find that I think that person, after completing his sentence, we have the problem that as a community again, the Ubuntu that I was talking about, you find that even the parents, they don't accept a person who is coming from prison. Say, and there are some issues like when there's theft at their community, people, they just think that it's the same person. But you find that it's not him. But because of the stigma that is there, people, they believe that, no, it's the same person who's stealing. As a result, it's like, we don't want you here. And we don't have any place in this in the world where we can keep offenders, the ex-offenders. They need to come back to our homes. They need to be embraced by us. They need to be loved. After that, we find that I think, give them something, because they have wasted a lot of years. Give them something to start as a startup. But we find that I think we say, choka, we don't want you here. What will happen? There will be someone in Dilande. There will be someone in Makeda. They're all ex-prisoners. They will just gang up and continue what they are doing. So that's the problem that we are having at the moment. But if we can go via the collection service, because they want to change the name as well. It's not going to be called the prison. It's going to be called collection service. And they have actually started improving changing one or two things.
So are you satisfied with the changes that are currently being made?
So we are happy, but I think the only worry that we are having is that it's delaying when it comes to the actual debate of the prison bill. There's a blackout. The president, in the last SONA, he said that I think he wanted that the bill should be discussed during that budget session, but it never. So we are hoping, but I think we are happy that there's political will. We are seeing officers maybe doing their work, and we are hopeful that maybe in the near future, maybe the bill is going to be discussed, and then probably we'll have the new Prison Act. Just to mention that the Prison Act that we are using now, it was never discussed in our Malawi Parliament.
So what specific changes do you want to be made?
Yeah, in the if the bill is going to be discussed, we have actually seen the report. There are so many initiatives that can change the prisoners. Mm. We have the parole system. That's the system whereby a prisoner is monitored from the time he has been arrested. If that person is really changing, because that's the purpose of the prison, remember?
Yes, yes.
The purpose is to collect, to rehabilitate offenders. So if you have been arrested, they need to see your behavior if you are changing. And if they are happy that this guy has changed, you know what happens? There will be a parole board that will recommend that this guy can be released before his sentence. That's the purpose of prison. Now, you know, it's like we want to make sure that people should rehabilitate. 2, we have so many vocational trainings because now it will go via rehabilitation. So we have vocational, any trade is going to be in prisons. And we also have even the issue of mega farms. The prisoners are going to take part in those things because we cannot all be employed. Some people, they need also to do their own things. So after that, after the release, the prisoner can go there. But again, we are also going to have some open prisons. Yeah, that's the process now of seeing if this person has changed. Open prisons and halfway homes. We have only one halfway home in Malawis. It's in Balaga. It's doing quite good work. The prisoners who are about to finish, some, not all, because it cannot accommodate each and every prisoner.
Now, do you think our system is capable of accommodating all that?
We have tried. We have started. We are doing well. And our prisons, actually our prison service is capable of doing that. I've seen the prisoners. Have you seen the prison culture troop?
Yes, yes.
Dancing troop. Mm-hmm. Have you seen them performing at night, midnight? They can perform around 1 a.m. and they'll go back to prison. That's part of the reformation that we are talking about. If you have seen, there was a prison team for prisoners here at Chichiri Prison. I was the team manager at a certain period. They were going to Mulanje, they were coming around 12, and they were going back to prison. And that's the purpose. If you can change, if you can allow people to change, you'll find that when they are released, they will not commit any other offenses. But if we are taking them as prisoners, they will be prisoners. Because you plant in their heads that you are criminals. They will be criminals. Now, if they went to prison with lesser offenses, they will make sure that they should graduate. After graduating, they will be dangerous criminals. So instead of making less criminals, but we will be multiplying them. It's like our prisons will be the training grounds for the criminals. So we need to make sure that all these things should change.
In case you're just tuning in, this is MBC Exclusive with me, Alina Femlamba. We'll be back after this short break. Welcome back. In case you're just tuning in, this is MBC Exclusive with me, Alina Femlamba. Our guest today is the Executive Director for the Center for Human Rights, Education, Advice and Assistance, Victor Mhango. So, Mr. Mhango, still on the issue to do with children's rights. There's been a surge in cases of sexual violation on children, allegedly by pastors. What's your reaction on this?
You know, it's very discouraging because a pastor, a parent, they're the caregivers of children. And it's very disappointing that you find that the pastors, that the number leading actually. I've seen so many cases involving the pastor sleeping with children. This is very unfortunate. And one thing that bothers me a lot is that after doing that, we will never find the fellow pastors condemning that. It's very unfortunate. I've seen the pastors coming out in some issues, the social issues, the social ills in the country, whether they want to tell the government, they conduct the demonstrations, there was recent issues of the LGBTQI. They were all over. But what is the problem? Why is it that they're not coming up with in crucial issues like what the fellow pastors are doing?
So what do you think is attributing to the rise in these rape cases?
Yeah, I think morality and maybe also lack of parental guidance that I was talking about, because we could have children who are actually convinced by, if when you are dealing with people like pastors, when you are dealing with people like parents, they are the guardians. You actually most of the time trust what they are saying. So sometimes what they are saying, it can call up to the children. Or sometimes the children, they are motivated by the love of money. Maybe they are convinced, they are given money, they are given so many incentives, and the children, they actually fall in love with that. So you find that I think most of the children are being coerced and they are being used because of lack of, I don't know, that's children. They cannot actually differentiate that whatever we are doing is bad or is good, because in the first place, they trust the people that are dealing with.
Are you satisfied with the way these cases are being managed?
Yes, I'm happy. Actually, I just need to commend the Malawis Service. The mere fact that these cases are known now is because people are educated. The NGOs have talked a lot, Malawis Service have talked a lot, but I'm very happy with our courts and the Malawis Service. Whenever there are these cases, they make sure that I think they should speed them. If you remember recently, we had a case that we, Claire joined as a private prosecutor in Mhango-31. It's because the government, there's political will. The director of public prosecution is willing to make sure that I think should punish all the people who are doing this. And we are very happy that even now he has given our office some files to prosecute, which means that he is working with people. He knows that we have the interest and he is supporting our office as well. I'm very happy that I think even the court, the way they are making the sentences, it's actually the sentence that is that can give someone headache and maybe teach a lesson to the would-be offenders that if I commit this, I'll be in prison for 40 years.
Now, let's talk about churches. We've seen that there are instances whereby there is infighting within churches. Do you agree with me on that?
Yes, I've seen so many cases.
Now, what do you think is causing all this? Why is it that pastors are being targeted and victimized?
Yeah, I think it could be an issue to do with tolerance and understanding each other. Sometimes I believe that I think whenever we have a community, there could be some misunderstandings, and it's common. It's not just in the churches, it's everywhere. At my workplace, even at the MBC, you can have misunderstandings. But I think what matters most is the way we are handling those misunderstandings. How are we handling those misunderstandings? I think the time where people were dictating things are gone. Even the pastors, I think they should also learn that we are also people. That we can sit down with our folks and then discuss what is the way forward. But I think there are so many like church politics. Some people that are used with other groups. There are so many things that are happening behind the back. So whatever comes out at the open is just the thing that maybe people that are discussing at the background. There could be politics within the church. Some people, for example, I've seen some people that are saying that we don't want our reverend to go out of this place. But the synod, or maybe their headquarters are saying that no, he is going to go out. So, all these things. I think there should be some politics behind that.
You advocate for human rights education, and you also give advice.
Yeah.
What action have you taken? Because if you're to look at this issue, much as you've said, it is complex.
Yes.
This is to do with peace. Where there is no peace, there is definitely an infringement of a human right. Now, as Kriya, what action have you taken to ensure that there is peace in churches? Because if we're to look at your operations, you look at issues to do with rights education, you give out advice, among other things. What have you done to ensure that there is peace in churches?
We have not targeted churches, but we are targeting Malawians. So in our messaging, we believe that we are reaching out to each and every Malawian. That includes the churchgoers and the non-churchgoers. But we have not said that, no, there's a problem at Seventh-day Adventists that I should go and intervene, no. But peace should prevail to each and every Malawian, regardless of where he's congregating. So the issue of us going to church is not there. But if there could be some other people who can invite us, we are willing to do that, because sometimes we don't just go and start. I want to mediate, but we need to have people who are willing to invite you for mediation, because mediation is supposed to be coming from them. Say that, I think we have a difference. Can you come and mediate? That we can do.
You've been advocating for the rights of sex workers. Do you think Malawi is doing enough to accommodate and empower those in this profession?
Yes, I think we have managed to change people's mindset. At first time, during our early years when we are doing the sex worker project, people were saying, why are you doing this? Why are you supporting people? Why are you supporting sex workers? These are sex workers. We are not supposed to support them. But after educating the masses, they understood that a sex worker is a human being. A prisoner is a human being. You are a human being. So there's no difference when it comes to constitution between you, sex worker, and any other person. Sex work is issue to do with morality. So I don't think the government is there to control morality of people. The morality is supposed to be in you, and you are supposed to be assisted maybe by the churches, as we are saying. So our project in promotion of the rights of sex workers was not about promoting people to start sex work. But we had issues with Malawi Police Service and other people during that time, during the rogue and vagabond days, whereby you find that maybe a police officer, he has arrested a sex worker, and then he said that if I sleep with you, you are going to be released. That was the problem. That's why we are saying, no, this is bad.
As it is, are you satisfied that the rights of sex workers are intact?
Yes, we are happy. You find that even the sex workers that are working with the police, you go to such police station, you find that the sex workers, they have got their own network, they work with Malawi Police Service. You go to police headquarters, the same. So we have embraced them, and even the Malawi Police Service, they have actually embraced them. Actually, most of the times, these are the people sometimes when police are investigating some cases, they actually assist them. So we are happy that the sex worker movement now is at peace. We could have some isolated incidents, but we are very happy that the country, they have accepted them as people. And we, as a human rights organization, we are happy that the human rights of the sex workers is also being respected by all.
Mr. Mhango, how do you balance your personal life with your advocacy for the rights of sex workers? Do you receive some sort of judgment from the society with regards to the work that you do, and how do you get to balance up with that?
No, it's very difficult. When you are doing this work, people, they think that you are part of what you are doing. For example, when I'm supporting the LGBTI rights, people say that, no, he's supporting the LGBTI, or else he's benefiting from them. But you know what? I believe in the Constitution of Malawi, which said that we are all equal and we are all human beings. So human rights says that regardless of your status, whether you are rich, whether you are poor, but the Constitution sees you as a human being. So that's what it gives me a lot of power, a lot of motivation that, no, I can still continue doing this work. So for me, there's no problem. I enjoy it because this to me is a passion. This is the work that I've worked, and I'll work forever.
So speaking of inclusion, do you think Malawi is doing enough to accommodate people with disabilities? Because recently we've seen quite a number of changes. We've seen a member of parliament. We've seen a police officer. But then, much as those efforts are there, do you think Malawi is doing enough to embrace these people and accommodate them?
Yes, I think as a country we are trying. And there is a new act that is also supporting the people with disabilities. Yeah, I think we are trying. We are not doing fine, but we are trying. I think there's political will. We are hoping that, I think, if we can move in this space, I know for sure that I think so many things will change, and I think the people with disability will have their rights supported by the government. So I'm sure we are trying.
There's been significant attention on the Oman situation recently. As Greya, we haven't heard from you. What's your reaction? Because there's still some ladies stuck in Oman.
No, they're stuck, but also there are some ladies who are refusing to come. So it's actually confusing the government. But I've seen some organizations fighting for that. And actually, I saw a newspaper, should be, I think, last week or the other week, whereby they said some women, they're not happy, they're not ready to come. So it depends. It's actual case to case. It's very unfortunate that I think we just go to places that we don't even know. And the government spends a lot of money trying to make sure that those people should come back. But we find that some of them, they're not interested.
Mr. Mhango, it was a pleasure having you today.
Thank you very much, Mabnafe.
Thank you. That was Victor Mhango, the Executive Director for the Center for Human Rights Education, Advice and Assistance. My name is Alinafe Mlamba. Until next time, stay inspired.